This is the 9th decade of my life, from 2006 to 2016. Anne was 48, going on 58. John was 43, going on 53. And Lori, 41, going on 51. Lori was here for her birthday, and of course, the children were the center of interest at that time. This shows the village that we all loved. I had 2 sets of villages that I set up on the buffet, and the house was heavily decorated every year. Then, let's see, I think this was no, I can't remember. This is still 09, I believe, when the Jeffords had us for dinner one night, or for lunch, and I made a brownie dinosaur cake for Lila. It wasn't his birthday, but we celebrated the 2 birthdays. And Miller had a little box cake with the 1 candle on it. And here we are together. They'd come just about every summer, and either Thanksgiving or Christmas, one or the other, because they would go back to South Carolina to be with Marion's folks. And they always had a big deal there on Lake Junaluska. These are just some of the pictures of parties that we've had. As I've said before, I belong to, belong, I don't know, it's a part of a reunion group. And there were, about 12 of us. Reunion from East High School and junior high school. So we'd get together every month or so for lunch. We ended up going to the Pinehurst Country Club where one of the girls lived, and that was fun. But only one person is left now, which is very sad. We have a tennis group, a couples tennis group. We get together Memorial Day, Halloween, when we'd always wear costumes. They'd have a theme, and we'd follow up Christmas. And then, of course, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. We really met quite a bit. It's still going strong. Then this is our Pilates forum, and this is the reunion group. And this is just friends. And here, this is some of the last time we got together when Al was still here with us. We had our serious thinkers, as I say, been getting together since about 1950. And these are the serious thinkers, is what we call each other, with the couples. But no, nobody is here anymore. And this is a couple that Al knew in high school. From now on, I'll just show Christmas cards because I had my pictures were on a computer, and I did not keep a log of everything, so I'm pretty much lost. But this is a Christmas card of 2010. Shows the children. This is at the Jeffords. They were so wonderful to us. They had us for dinner a lot. Ann and Doug were up at Avon, near Beaver Creek. She worked at the charter at Beaver Creek. And here, Lori and Fergus in their new home in Hana. Then the next year, children a little older, this is our Christmas card. And then the following year, here we are all together again, and the children. And this is the 2013, and the cards are very simple. And then this is 15. This is when Al and I were dressed up for a holiday with our tennis group. And it was Mother's and Father's Day, and we won the prize. Laurie and Fergus here, and I love this picture of John. He looks so relaxed. And the children had an 82nd birthday for me, or 88th, whatever it was. And then this was the last Christmas card of this kind, because it was before the sad year of 2016 when we lost 3 of our family members in 9 months. But Laurie, the children just love Laurie. She's so much fun. And here Laurie and Fergus are in Hana, in their beautiful home. The children love the snow that they don't get very much in California. In recognition of 5 ambitious and rewarding achievements, Al and I honor both Laurie and John for their achievements. First of all, with Laurie, she earned her bachelor's degree in psychology at Europa University in 1991. She then went on to California, to Pomona, to Chapman University, where she earned a master's degree in special ed. She never stopped working, high school, college, and still, on to this day, she's never stopped. In Fort Collins, she worked at Banana Republic restaurant, and also the Rio Grande restaurant. She was also at the Wallace Hospital, Sunny Hills, and Family Life towards her degree, which is special ed. Then John graduated from CU, Colorado University in Boulder, in 1986. He has a degree in liberal arts. After he graduated from college, he decided to go to Australia for 5 months. He traveled alone. I'm sorry, I have to go back. This is Laura's degree from elementary school. And this is her degree, master's degree from Chapman. And then John's doctorate degree. John went to Australia for 5 months. He wanted to see the world before settling down. It was a wonderful experience for him. So when he came back to Denver, he had several jobs. He was a house painter. He worked in production with Nathan Basher for a while. He was also with Children's Gym and March of Dimes and the Walden Bookstore. Finally, in 1991, he decided to go back to school to get his master's degree, which he did at CUNY, which is City University of New York. He attained his degree, and then he went on to New York to continue his education to earn his doctorate degree, which was in 2004. He was all set now, and it was a long, long journey for both of them. But they never stopped working. They continued without any complaints or asking for additional assistance. It was wonderful how they did it. Wasting no time at all. they achieved their goals, and they began their careers immediately after that with success. Going back 1 year to 2005, I wanted to mention our 4 Pilates members. I don't call them members, just friends. In 2005 in September, I had a luncheon, our first time together, celebrating 2 September birthdays. We've been going continually since then, every 3 or 4 months for luncheon or some kind of activity together. I made up these cards just recently, showing our togetherness and how close we all are together. Here I am the hostess, and this is the first time we got together. And this shows, let's see, let me turn over here. This is, Carol's party that she gave, that's right. And I show the hostess and their decorations and the 4 of us together. So the card is one side and then the other. Then in 2005, John and Marion moved to Chicago. John was the assistant professor at DePaul University in film studies, and Marion was working towards her doctorate degree also. They were very excited, and as I say, there's no time in between for them to be idle. They were able to continue right away. But they were in Chicago for 4 years. This was in June, and then in September, they invited us to come and stay with them for a few days. It was so much fun because I'd never been to Chicago before. It was my first and last time to Chicago. They planned to have us take an architectural cruise down the Chicago River Canal to see the interesting, unique buildings, each one having a story of its own. It was a fun day, and Chicago was very, very exciting to me. The next day, we'd planned to go to the art museum, which we did by train, but it didn't agree with me, so I missed out on that entirely. Very disappointing. But the following day, we traveled throughout the city to see the interesting, beautiful homes. It's just awe-inspiring. We also saw the Frank Lloyd Wright buildings and homes that were available to see. We went to Marshall Fields, and we also, the last day, we had the exciting pleasure of attending a performance of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. It was performed outdoors in the pavilion, and a gorgeous night. The conductor was Daniel Borenberg, and it was just marvelous. We loved it, every minute of it. It was hard for us to leave Chicago, but it was time for us to go. This shows Mariana Jones' apartment that they have. They bought an apartment. You could say it's a condo, I guess, I'm not sure. And they painted it up and had it all ready for them to stay as long as they needed to. One day in the afternoon, we were completely surprised when the doorbell rang, and there was Bill Basher and Nathan, his son Nathan. They drove up in 1936 Ford Cabriolet, and we could imagine, what's he doing here in a car like that? Did they drive all the way? Yes. They drove 2 days in this car, and Nathan was pretty nervous about it. But nevertheless, they came, and dear, wonderful Bill even treated us to dinner that night. He was so excited. Sybil had been gone for a few years, and he was alone, and he needed something like this, but he went over and beyond for us. I really there were several parties. I'm going to have to look and see here. Several parties that we had. They're sort of all mixed up. I was just at Skyline Acres all the time in the summer. I was teaching, and then Skyline Acres in the summer. I swam, played tennis. And I had a lot of tennis friends. And periodically they would have some kind of get-together. And this shows 3 different groups. They were so wonderful, and I had a great, wonderful time with them. Then this was, going on to, let's see, that was 05, 06. 06 was the year that I turned 80. Hard to believe, but now it sounds very young. My family were here for my birthday and always treat me royally. They just do so much for me. John was here, and everybody, we had such a good time. Lori, Anne had planned, she had made reservations for us to stay at the Charter at Beaver Creek for a night, which was a wonderful birthday present. So we enjoyed, they had 2 pools, indoor and out. The whole area is so beautiful. They had the market square where they have unique gift shops and wonderful art shops with lots and lots of sculpture. So I love to meander around there, but it was just an ideal place to go if you want to really enjoy. We were there for a day, and my friend Georgia Armitage had planned a surprise birthday party for me. Lori knew about it, but I did not. Unfortunately, it was on the day that Lori had said was not possible. I think she felt bad about that, but we went on anyway. I missed a day at Charter, but we had a wonderful time at the birthday party. There were at least 30 people there, and they all wore a hat of some kind or other. She had a wonderful display of food, a beautiful birthday cake, and I was honored. I was really, really honored. I just couldn't get over that. What a wonderful gesture that was. But nevertheless, here it is. Here are all the hats that they're wearing, and everybody had such fun. Not only that, but they presented Al and I a ticket to the Lion King at the auditorium, plus dinner at the little restaurant there right on the area, the theater area. I thought was overwhelmingly generous and wonderful. I cherish these friends and will always cherish them. This is a picture of, well, in Christmas the same year, Georgia also gave a birthday party for 2 of them at the Greek temple, which was Georgia's religion. And every Christmas they'd have a tables extraordinary where families would volunteer to decorate a table to the utmost. It was fundraising. They had cookies, and it was a lovely party, and I liked a wonderful time to attend it. Christmas at home with everybody. And we'd leave the tree up for a couple of months. And it's so wonderful to have family here. It's just is overwhelming. Then, dear, sweet, wonderful Lori, she goes all out to do what she wants to do for anybody else. Here she planned a nostalgic trip, to my old neighborhood in Park Hill. It was so exciting. We saw so many of the things with which I grew up, like Park Hill School, my elementary school. It was a beautiful school and remained the same. Then Smiley Junior High School, walked to both schools. In fact, Park Hill, I walked home for lunch and back for about 6 blocks. Then East High School. Al went to East High School, and he had a lot of memories there. I only went for a short time. But we went up to the top of the building, to the tower, and there were pictures of Mother. I don't know whether you call her a mascot or a manager. She was too short to play basketball, so she was mascot. Underneath that, they wore long black skirts and white middies. And then here's Al with his basketball team. It's fun to think that those pictures are available for people to see. I think everybody gets a big kick out of them. And it's a wonderful idea. Mother's diploma is still there. Let's see. Let's see where we are. It's still 06. And let's see. This is when we went to California. Again, it's my birthday year, and this was sort of an additional gift to me from the family. John and Marion were still in Chicago, and Lori and Fergus were in San Rafael. And so Lori and John, mostly Lori, I think, had planned a trip to California to first start and see the Bashers, and then travel all the way down to see Nitin and the Coronado Club. So we did fly to California in November. We were met by Bill Basher and the family and had a wonderful evening. We had dinner there, and he's alone, and he does have help. But we had a wonderful visit, and their home is so like Sybil. You turn around and everything reminds you of Sybil. She had her village laid out for Christmas. She keeps up all year round. Very artistic. She's very clever. And her Christmas tree, still decorated. Bill didn't touch a thing. Everything was left the way Sybil wanted it. But we had a wonderful, wonderful visit. And then Dana had invited us. To his home for a night and visit. It was gorgeous. He had 2 family rooms, 2 living rooms, 2 dining rooms, big bedrooms with large baths, swimming pool, tennis court. Didn't he have a tennis court? I think so. And everything anybody would ever need. Unfortunately, he was divorced, but he was with his son, Harrison. But he took us for a tour in the house. of gorgeous old collectible music boxes. Some of them were huge. And his Christmas tree kind of reflected Sybil's influence. It was beautiful. But he was so extra nice to us. He was so pleasant, such a good host. And we'll never forget it. Then, here's another picture of the house. And then we went to Nathan's to see his home. We didn't stay overnight, but it was good to meet the family here. And here's Dana and his home, and Lori and I, and the Del Coronado Club, which is another of my favorite. They have a huge pool there. I have been in the pool by myself at one time or another, but it was a wonderful celebration of my birthday, I call it still. And here, Lori and John. Then Nitin, who is John's friend, who's also I would say, assistant professor at USSD. He's known John through his education in New York. And they had offices, just neighborly offices close by each other. But he invited us for Thanksgiving dinner, as I say, and he and his wife, Denise, put on the most wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. Everything was perfect. They had a very small kitchen, and it was a small area, but it was fantastic. It was so good. So bless their hearts, as busy they are with just a 2-year-old daughter, Anya. It was extra nice. Then we did see other things along the way. Nitin and John took us through USSD. USSD. And we saw the art museum. Was it the art museum then? I'm not sure if that was the trip. Here's Lori doing her acrobatics, and Nitin and his family, and Al and I on the patio here. I love California. It's a wonderful place to be. Then, we also visited my friend Leskinka. I knew her at the University of Arizona, and she and her sister she lived with her husband in a beautiful, gorgeous home, and her sister lived nearby. But I always enjoyed Leskinka and always wanted to go visit her if we were in California. We also went to the Crab Cooker, I think was the name of it. And that's Marion's favorite. She loves crab legs. And of course I love salmon. So here's Leskinka's daughter. And then at the end of my birthday, there's dear sweet Dave. David was, I can't remember how to start this. We called him our magnificent son and brother. We love him dearly and we miss him dearly. February 15th, when we heard the news, when we were informed that they found David, It was like a bolt of lightning. It was unbelievable. And we were in shock to think that we'd never see him again. And that was heartbreaking. When you lose a loved one, it's devastating and unbelievable. Our sweet, wonderful David is no longer with us. His memorial was in March. As I say, he'll always be our magnificent son and brother. We love and miss him so much. Here's some pictures of the past that I put together of David and the family. He loved being with the family. He was such a good sport, so much fun and willing to do just about anything. Then, let's see, we're in 6th. Then we were informed about the birth of Lytle, John and Marion's first child in Chicago. They came here. He was born in June 6th, and they came to Denver when Lytle was only a month old, and then again at Christmas time. That was so exciting for us. Our first grandchild, their first child. And that was in 2007. This is one of my favorite pictures of Lori. She could handle the computer. It was brand new and she just knew it wasn't anything. She can handle it beautifully. She catches on quickly. I especially love this picture. This is one of my favorite. Then at Christmas time, we're all here together. And Lytle and the family, everybody here, Christmas tree up, everything decorated. No more. Ooh, some more Christmas pictures. And this is a picture of Anne. She turned 50. And they were here for the summer. Here's Lori and Fergus, and then John and the family. Let's see, I don't know where we are. It was 2008 when John and Marion were leaving Chicago for California. John had been an assistant professor of film studies at DePauw University, which we were able to see when we were there. So after 4 years, John's dream has come true. He's going to live in California with the family. It's very exciting. They came through Denver in June. John was driving a truck pulling one of the cars, and Marion drove the other car. They came through and picked up a few items that might be useful for them, and on to California. They had bought a home with a small swimming pool, and I can't imagine how exciting that must have been. We followed with invitation. They invited us to come in September to see the house and sort of see what was going on and see little Lytle. That was wonderful because we were just all together, and becoming acquainted with little Lytle was very exciting. We didn't do a whole lot because they were not quite settled yet, and we didn't care about that. We just wanted to be with them. I think we're in '09 now. '09 was when Lori and Fergus bought a home in Hana. In '01 they went to India and they bought their condo in Hana. And then I think it was '07 when they were in Ireland for about 3 weeks. And then '08 they traveled to Italy. I'm not sure if all this is right. They traveled to Italy for about 6 weeks before moving to Hana. Then, when we were in California, I skipped by all of this. Mary wasn't feeling very well. This is the first time we were in California. And she announced that she was expecting their first child. She produced an ultrasound indicating when the baby was due in April. We were so excited. I went over this and I'm going back a little bit. But I love this picture of all of them. We were there in April '09, just a day before the baby was born. Marion was induced labor, so it took her only 15 minutes to have this baby. She was in the hospital for 2 days. 2 days, and then home, and then back to school, and a few days. I don't know how she did it. But we loved just being with the 2 children and becoming acquainted. That was '09. Here she is in her little pink flower costume in October, and the children when they were young. They went to the Del Coronado and looked around. We always go there, so they have an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and I get lost in it almost. I love this picture of the 4 of them. I would like to go back just a ways because I think I misinterpreted something. Lytle was born in Chicago, and previously when we were in California, when Marion wasn't feeling well, she showed us an ultrasound indicating when he was expected, which was June the 6th, 2007. And they moved to California when he was almost 2 years old. And that is the time Marion wasn't feeling well. And she said she was expecting in April '09. It's a wonderful family, and Marion and John couldn't be better parents. And John was so absolutely elated. He couldn't believe he had these 2 children. But I've got a lot to remember, and my memory isn't that good. But all in all, it's a wonderful family. They're settled in San Diego, and they have their jobs. And Marion with her, I was going to say about Marion too. Another thing I left out, and I didn't mean to, but we welcome Marion to our family with open arms and love. We're proud of her too for accomplishing her doctorate degree. I can't say enough about what I want to say because I'm already over time, you might say. But we do appreciate. And same way with Doug. He's been wonderful with Anne. Such a good companion. And they both love each other so much that it's a beautiful couple to observe. in July of 2009, Steve and his family were here they lived in Denver for, maybe 6 months or so. Living in Australia, you don't come home very often, so this is a real big treat for the family. The Halls now own Paradiso in Lookout Mountain, which is a cottage that belonged to my father's law partner at one time. And then they sold it to Mother and Dad, and then Jean and Bill inherited it. But this shows Steve and their new son, Cody. I couldn't say it. Cody. And here is, this is Hal's daughter and son-in-law and son. And here's Hal with Nancy and Barbara. And here is our family as well. We love to go up to see Ann and Doug and Avon, where they now lived. Ann had been at the charter at Beaver Creek for several years, and she was absolutely loved by everybody. They just loved her. She was efficient, she was always there, she was always in a good mood and pleasant to everybody. They got a lovely life up there in that beautiful area. In the summer, this is when Miller was just a baby. She was born in April, and they were in Denver for a visit. This is up at Paradiso. Just explain to you, John was wonderful the way he reinforced our fence. The fence is over 60 years old, and he pounded in some stakes so that handles wouldn't fall down again. It was kind of scary. But that's the end. I will continue with the 10th decade in my next session.